Hello there, my fellow agents. What's up? It's Robbie with Overworld Games, and thanks to GamePro Magazine, we've got brand new details about Tom Clancy The Division that we are going to be going over in this video, and then also we're going to be visiting your top comments. So GamePro, they have a lot of new details and some confirmations that we were wondering about, like how does fast travel work? Is there a fast travel system in the game? Yes, there's going to be a fast travel system in the game. Now, they didn't go into details on exactly how it would work. I would imagine you just open the map, select the destination like a base of operations. I would assume those would be your fast travel systems, and then you're able to fast travel in that manner. Remember, there are extractions in the dark zones. We really have to learn more about exactly how those work, because those are on a timer, it seems. I want to see those in action. I'm more curious about that. I knew fast travel would end up in the game, but good news, because Ubisoft Massive is discouraging players from using fast travel by offering hidden loot and rewards throughout Manhattan and New York City. So they really want you to avoid fast traveling. They want you to be interested in the missions you are on, in the random NPCs that you come across, and the story that they tell. So they do not want you using the fast travel, and that is a really good sign, because I hardly use fast travel in open world games. If I have to, I will, but I try not to use the fast travel because it really does break that immersion. So we know most of the game takes place in Manhattan, and that still remains to be true, but it looks like you will be traveling outside of Manhattan and venturing to places like the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. So I'm just wondering how these bridges work in the Division. Will we see players actually venturing across an entire bridge? Will you have to defend the bridge, from invading cleaners or something like that? So I'm curious to see how these narrow spots work in the game. They're really long, they're really narrow, and I think they're going to be useful for sniper fire, but getting across them is going to be quite the challenge, I think. Now, I was actually wondering this too. Will we see moral choices in the game? Actually, we will be seeing this in the game. This is very good news. It looks like choice and consequence will play a big role in the Division. For example, they describe how you will stumble upon civilians that are caught in the literal fire of the cleaners, and you have two choices. Will you help them, or will you just abandon them and go on your way, because it might be too much trouble? Maybe you've helped so many people that not enough people can be helped in the world of the Division. Now, the consequent part of this is unknown. Will we see an actual consequence? Will we see a morale meter? Could you become an evil super agent or something like that? Now, that is unknown. It'll be interesting if they actually have something like this in PvP in the dark zones, where you can choose to help other players. Do you know that it's going to be a possibility where you could team up with other players in dark zones, of course? But I'm wondering if they're going to have some sort of underlying morale meter with this. I am hoping that they do, but it's good to know at the very least that moral choices are going to be a part of the game. So what about dynamic events in the Division? Will we be seeing those? Well, yes, it looks like we will be. Now, of course, like any MMO, you would expect to choose a quest from an NPC and then go on your way. Well, there's going to be dynamic events to get you distracted. The one that I just described about the civilians facing off against the cleaners and you helping or not, that is an example of a dynamic event. These are going to be ever-changing throughout the game world, and as GamePro put it, there is a ton of variety in these dynamic events. I really hope that they are also, pretty extensive in how long they can last. Can you have a chain of dynamic events that connect in some way or another? That's something I'm really hoping that they actually do in the Division. So like me, you're probably disappointed that we did not get any gameplay or a brand new trailer from GDC 2015. I'm sort of bummed out about that, of course, but I am very, very patient. When could we expect more coverage on the Division? Anything at all? Well, officially we could look forward to something this Thursday or Friday from a Ubi blog. It's going to be a developer blog. I hope we get some sort of new details. Anything would do, but of course I'm going to be covering it right here on Open World Games. I cannot wait for Thursday or Friday. I can take anything at this point. Also, remember that fan-made standalone Division game based off the Cry engine? Well, they are looking for modders, and they want you to contact them if you want to participate in helping create this standalone fan game. You can find out more by looking at the description below. We've got top comments. Comments like this one from Cole Rainier, who goes on to say, open world games, I think you should keep the cookie aspect. Just make different versions of the shirt, like number 1 cookie with a rifle, or cookie with a steering wheel, etc, stuff like that. So yeah, if you don't know what he's talking about, Cookie is a t-shirt that I designed over on Stars HQ with my bro Ryan. It was a ton of fun to do, but yeah, I would love to see variations of him as well. One of you guys suggested also you'd like for him to be facing New York City, wearing a gas mask and a go bag with a rifle. That would be awesome and really funny in my opinion. But guys, please continue giving your opinion about what you want to see from an open world game. Sure, I really want to know. Let me know, and I'm going to try to get you guys something really cool. A lot of you are wondering the same thing, and it comes from Rodothos, who asked, will there be enough freedom for me to be a sniper and be able to go on a roof of my choice, or will there be restrictions in certain places you are allowed to go in the dark zone? What's your opinion? And this again is just an opinion, it's an educated guess. I really think there are going to be some restrictions on how you explore the city, simply because it's got to be balanced. If everyone has access to a rooftop, I would think that would end up being something that's a disadvantage to players on the lower levels. Everyone would be sniped. It wouldn't be that much fun. So I do think that they're going to create, narrow passageways, areas where they really want to get players grouped together and battling it out. And I don't think we're going to be seeing every single building being explorable. Now, it could be like Assassin's Creed Unity, where, you could go into like 1 out of 5 buildings or something like that. That would be absolutely amazing. And again, this game is going to be about the underground, the street level, and the rooftop. So I think that's what the game is going to be about. When you go on a mission, you're going to have 3 options about how you're going to take it on. I think you might be given those choices of travel. Do I go to the underground? Do I stay on the street levels where the cleaners are at? Or do I risk taking on snipers on the rooftops? I would expect something like that, and I'm really hopeful that's in the game. We've got questions about weapons now. Our main Baines asked, will there be a bow and arrow or some other type of hunter weapon? Now, in Ubisoft's official podcast, which they're starting up, thankfully, we need the information. They said there's going to be very unique weapons in the game. So I would at the very least expect something like a crossbow that you stumble upon. Now, remember that concept art that they released near Christmas and the New Year? Showed off a Winchester repeater. I would expect to find something like more older like that, just for the fun of it. It might not be something that you actually use for competition, but it would be fun to collect and goof around with. So I would expect some, more variations of rare, older weapons hidden around New York City. The Winchester going wild, wild west in New York City. Here's one from Dome Shot Dylan, who says, keep up the great work, Robbie. With the loot in the dark zone, when you kill someone, will you be able to pick the loot up? If I die, will my friend be able to grab my weapon and trade it with me? These are all such good questions. Now, trade will be in the game, but I don't think you'll be doing it, right there on the spot. It might be more like where you might want to earn something back at the base of operations. I think trade is going to be centered around the social hub, where that's the only place you're going to be able to trade. That's a total guess, of course, but I think that is how it's going to work. Now, will you be gaining loot and stuff off of other players in the dark zone? Honestly, I don't know, but if I had to take a wild guess, I think it's going to be like Destiny, where you go, you choose a mission from an NPC or whatever, you go to the dark zone, you tackle a quest, or you tackle a certain set of goals, and by doing those goals, you would earn your reward, your loot, your new gear and weapons. Of course, you're going to be finding loot and weapons throughout the game world. That is something that the GamePro Magazine did mention. So I think that, coupled with these other, quest line rewards, they're going to be in the game, and they're going to make it very entertaining. But I'm not too sure if you're going to be able to stumble upon, a PvP player that you've just downed and take his gear and weapons. I seriously doubt it. I think there's a lot of balance issues with that. You're a level 1 player and you pick up like a level 50 weapon. I don't think they want you to feel frustrated in the game in that manner. So I think they're going to have a little bit more control over how they give you weapons in the game. So that does it for the comments and this video, which saddens me, guys, because I love talking about the Division with you guys. I love seeing your responses. So by all means, please post your comments and questions below. Get creative with them. I want to see how creative you guys can get with your questions. And of course, we are still doing our Xbox One and PS4 giveaway over on Star Wars HQ. We're teaming up with them. We're celebrating, you know, Star Wars in 2015. We're celebrating the Division and open world gaming in 2015. Come join us, by the way. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We have quite the following and an excellent community. You guys are awesome with your questions and comments. And once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.
Alright, the store was empty. I heard that gunfire. Nick, check your map, see if there's anything in the area.